If you've seen some of my analytic reports over the past few months, you've seen that my channel is growing pretty nicely. And I have been doing a lot behind the scenes to make sure that continues. So for today's video, I want to go over the top 5 things that are growing my YouTube channel right now and how you can grow your YouTube channel as well. The number one thing here with creating content on YouTube is you want to be in tune with your audience. Starting with the topic of your videos. What is your audience interested in? What are their pain points? What problems are they struggling with? And are you creating videos that they actually want to watch? Now, I am by no means a YouTube expert or a guru. I have a lot to learn still when it comes to this platform. But I like to think that I am pretty in tune with what my audience wants most of the time. I think everyone has some hit or miss videos that they're not sure that their audience is going to like, but they create anyway because they're passionate about the topic. And YouTube is definitely all about experimenting. So what I like to try to do is to release about 80 to 90% of content that I know is going to do well. I've done the research, I've looked up the keywords, I've figured out the topic, and I know pretty confidently that this video is going to do well. And then 10 to 20% of the time, I like to experiment. I either put out videos that I think my audience might like, but I'm not entirely sure, or I put out videos that I know a very, very small portion of my audience is going to like, but I enjoy putting them out, so I still create those videos. For example, when it comes to my vlog, I know that that is not going to reach the majority of my audience, but there are a good 100 people or so in my audience that are going to watch every single one of my vlogs because they're interested in that content. Because to me, the most important thing here on YouTube is that I am creating interesting content that people will like, or I am creating helpful content that is going to help somebody with some sort of problem. I think it's all about balance. It's about creating the videos that you know are going to do well, but also experimenting a little bit with the videos you are not sure about, because you never know if a video is going to do well unless you try it. And there are other ways that you can stay in tune with your audience that isn't just directly related to the specific topic or the title of the video. You also want to make sure that the things that you talk about in your video are interesting to your audience as well. Because if you have a great title or a great thumbnail and it really hones in on the problem that people are having, but the questions that you answer in the video are not things that people are asking, they're just going to click away anyway, so it's not really going to help you that much. So how do you figure out what questions people are asking and what they want to hear from you in your videos? And the answer is keyword research. I mentioned this a time or two, but my favorite keyword research tool for YouTube is vidIQ. If you're doing YouTube seriously, make sure to check out this tool, which I will leave down below in the description. Seriously, it is a lifesaver. Now, there is a free version, which is pretty good, but if you're doing YouTube seriously, I recommend upgrading to at least the $10 a month plan. That is the one that I am on, and it gets you access to their browser, which has a bunch more features in there to help you with your YouTube channel. The most important thing being the keyword research tool. So when I get a video idea, I make sure to type in a few different variations of keywords that I want to hit in my title, in my description, and different places like that. And there's a tab on there labeled questions. If you put 1 or 2 keywords in there, you may get access to some questions that people are asking surrounding that keyword. And those are questions that you can answer inside of your video because you know that people are actually asking those questions. I make sure to let the stats tell me what videos I should create and also what questions I should be answering in my videos in order to make sure that I am creating the content that is going to serve my audience the best. And that is one of the best ways that you can stay in tune with what your audience wants. The next important thing you need to do is have a great title with a clickable thumbnail. That's what's going to make people stop and actually click on your video, so you want to make sure you're doing the best to improve these 2 areas. I personally use Canva to edit all of my thumbnails. It is a great tool to use, and if you want a little bit of an insight into how I create my thumbnails, you can check out this video that I did on it up here. But the problem with thumbnails is every niche is going to be different and every topic is going to be different. So the best thing to do is to check out YouTube channels in your niche and see what type of thumbnails they are creating. Now, you obviously don't want to copy exactly what they're doing, but you do want to study what kind of elements they're putting in their thumbnails and how they're structuring them out. Are they using faces? Are they using a bunch of words? Are they using super bright colors? I also like to look up the ranking videos for the specific video topic that I'm doing in order to see what I'm going to be competing up against. And you can do the same thing for your titles as well. You want to have a mix of keywords in your titles while also making it interesting, because sometimes the best keyword researched SEO friendly title is not going to be the most interesting title. So you want to kind of have a mix. And the best way to know what thumbnails and titles are going to do well is to look at your competitors. And of course, there's always this debate on quality versus quantity of content on YouTube and which is better to do here. And personally, I think there's room for both when you're trying to grow on the platform. But you definitely want to have a consistent uploading schedule if you want to grow. Consistently putting out new content is going to give you an advantage because there's always something new for people to watch. And that's going to give you more chances to get noticed as well. Because if you just upload 1 or 2 times and then you disappear for a month, your channel's kind of going to die off a little bit because there's no new content for people to watch. So I think in the beginning, quantity is a little bit better than quality because the more quantity of videos you put out, basically the more that you practice, the better your quality is going to get anyway. So don't worry too hard about the quality in the beginning because if you only put out 1 video a month, it's going to take you a long time to get better at doing videos versus if you put out 1 to 2 videos a week and then you analyze your stats and you analyze your video and how it's doing and then you improve for the next video. The more content you put out there, the better you are going to do. And that also helps your views, of course, as well, like I mentioned. Back when I was putting out 1 video a week, I noticed that 2 to 3 days after the video went out, my views would start to dip down, which of course at the time made sense because I didn't have a whole lot of videos out. So when my subscribers watched that video, there was no new content for them to watch and my views would dip, which is why I decided to start putting out 2 videos a week because then I would flatten out that curve a little bit and make my views more consistent over the months. And in the end, it worked because my views ended up evening out, and as opposed to having massive dips, I was just getting consistent traffic. So I think in the beginning that quantity is definitely more important than quality because quality will come over time. One thing I think new YouTubers do a lot, but they do incorrectly, is analyzing their stats. This is one thing that's going to help you a lot because your stats are not only going to tell you what you need to improve on, but they're also going to tell you what is working and what you should keep doing more of. However, where I think a lot of new YouTubers go wrong is they are constantly checking their stats when they first wake up, throughout the day, refreshing the page, and before they go to bed. But they aren't actually analyzing their stats. They're just obsessively checking how high their numbers got, which isn't really great in terms of coming up with a strategy. It would be more beneficial to sit down with your stats maybe once a week or even really once a month and actually dive into what's working and what's not. I really started to grow once I did this. For example, at the beginning of my channel, I had this really long intro that was super boring, it was not helpful, and then I had this stinger that showed my name and played some music. I realized by looking at my stats and my viewer retention time that people were starting at 100% with the video and then it was dipping down and then all of a sudden going back up. And when I really dove into it, I saw that people realized, okay, she's gonna have this intro and then she's actually gonna get into the content after that little stinger hits. So they were just skipping over my intro entirely, waiting for the end of the stinger, and then they were watching the content. And some people might even have been leaving the video altogether. So that told me if I get rid of all that junk and I just get right into the content, my audience retention is going to flatten out a little bit. So I got rid of it and my audience retention improved a lot. But of course, I wouldn't have known that if I didn't analyze my YouTube stats. And since we're talking about stats, I want to deep dive into my stats a little bit and show you where my traffic is coming from and how you can utilize these traffic sources to get views from there as well. So let's take a look at my August stats here since that's when I have a full month of data. This is just a brief overview of my account. I got almost 8,000 views, 452 watch hours, and 169 subscribers. But I really want to go into my advanced mode here and show you the traffic sources for my channel. So you can see this is where all of my traffic is coming from as a massive overview. But let's just break it down into YouTube search to start. Now YouTube search is where I get most of my traffic from. You can see that I got 3,739 views just from YouTube search alone in August, and I got 182 watch hours from there as well. I get about 115 to 120 views a day from YouTube search. And this is a great place to start if you have low views and subscribers on your channel. In order to get ranked in YouTube search, you're gonna have to do SEO keyword research, which I mentioned I use vidIQ for, and clearly it's working. So let me show you a little bit about vidIQ and how I use it. So this is vidIQ right here. And if you go into the keywords, you can search up any keyword that you want. Let's say Pinterest marketing strategy. It'll tell you the search volume for it and the competition and then give you an overall score. I will go over here into related keywords and we'll click on this overall right here because it'll show you from best to worst keywords to rank for. And you can see that one of the reasons I'm ranking for so many Pinterest keyword terms is there is a ton of views for it, but there is a lot of low competition, which means that it's easy to rank for. So you can see Pinterest marketing strategy, the term that I've decided to go for here. has 2,794 search volume. The competition is low, which means the overall score out of 100 is 66. Now, these are kind of a crazy amount of search volume, but the ones that stick out to me the most are the lowest searched terms. So for example, the complete Pinterest marketing course for beginners, that would be a fantastic video for me to make. Or right here, let's see, social media, Pinterest marketing, 3,000 views, Pinterest keywords, 4,000 views. Personally, for me, I would rather go after keywords that have 1,000 to 2,000 searches a month as opposed to something that has 255,000 searches a month because it's going to be easier to rank for. The next searches we can look at is browse features because that is my second highest. You can see I got almost 2,000 views and 131 watch hours from browse features. And if you want to know what browse features is, it will tell you right here. Traffic from the home page / home screen, the subscription feed, and other browsing features. So more than likely, this is coming from people who have already interacted with your content, and YouTube is recommending your video to them. Normally, you're going to get recommended by YouTube on the homepage to people that are interacting with your content a lot. So they're either commenting or they're watching for a long period of time or they're watching multiple videos. That's going to give you a better chance to get noticed on the homepage and the home screen and the subscription feed. The more they interact with your content, the more likely it is that YouTube will recommend you in the browse features. And you can see that this browse features is not nearly as steady as my YouTube search. So the way that you can kind of look at these is YouTube search is people who have likely not heard of your content before, but they have a problem. You show up in the YouTube search when they search up that problem, and then they're going to watch your video in order to solve their problem. And then if they do like that content, they might subscribe, and then they might end up finding you in their browse features. So YouTube search usually comes from non-subscribers, and browse features is going to come from your subscribers more often than not. Now, if we get rid of both of those and we go to just suggested videos, which is the third. So suggested is giving me 674 views and 44 watch hours in August. And you can see the views are relatively consistent throughout the month. And then you can see suggested videos means views from suggestions appearing alongside or after other videos. And so of course that means showing up on the side of other videos or after a video is done and all the videos pop up for YouTube suggesting another one. That is what counts as suggested. And again, it is going to depend on how long people watch your content or how similar it is to the content that they're currently watching in order for you to get recommended in suggested. And it's never a guarantee that you are going to get recommended in suggested. We obviously don't know the YouTube algorithm and how that all works. But one of the ways you can increase your chances is try to create similar videos to ones that are already doing well in your niche. So for example, if I see a blogging mistakes video that is doing really well, if I try to create similar content around that, I might have a better chance to get recommended and suggested next to that video of a similar creator. Now, there are a lot of other places that you can get traffic from, like shorts, channel pages, external views, and all of that, but those are the top 3 that I recommend that you start working out with other than external. You should definitely be working on external as well. And if you want to learn more content creation secrets like this, check out this video right here. Make sure to like this video if you like and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. And I'll see you next week. Bye!